Welcome to another episode of Project CB. Tonight we're going to be going through to Carnival City and enjoying the beautiful, amazing music of Joyous Celebration 23. 23 years in the making. Incredible, is it not? Yep. Believe it. It is going to be an incredible, exciting journey. So let's take a peek to see what is going to be happening tonight. Join us as we take a tour. What made you to choose Joyous? I know you went to audition, but what made you choose Joyous?
It's the love of music. It's the love of the craft. It's also just wanting to be out there and wanting to be a part of a bigger thing for this generation. So I would say Joyous chose me more than them, more than me choosing them, you know. And there's many of us who can do way better also than any of us. And so I would say they chose me, and I am happy to be here. I'm enjoying this space, and yeah.
So this is the first leg of the tour.
Yes.
What are you expecting?
I'm sure you've seen the album already. Mm-hmm. It's beautiful, and I'm expecting a whole lot of fun and a whole lot of godly experience, and then in the intervention and the encounter with God and meeting more people. It's my second year with Joyous.
Wow.
I would tell you it's quite a nice experience. I'm enjoying the ride. So the album is beautiful. The show tonight is going to be very nice, and so I'm hoping for the better from here onwards.
Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for having me.
And good luck.
Thank you. Enjoy the show.
Enjoy
it, right?
Lord, I lift my is Gospel Cylinder from Bushbuckridge in Mpumalanga.
Bushbuckridge!
Yeah. And what else?
So, this is the first leg of the tour. What are your expectations?
Well, Joyous Celebration, MTN Joyous Celebration is always energetic and spirit-filled, so my expectation is nothing less of that. So we're basically expecting the best actually.
It's Good Friday. What do you expect the mood from the audience to be like?
Well, it should be celebratory, if there's a word.
It is a word.
Yeah, because we are celebrating the death and the resurrection of Jesus Christ. Because without Jesus Christ, there's no salvation. So we're actually celebrating that. So it should be it should be a celebration.
So Bushbuckridge to Johannesburg, how did you get to be in Joyous?
Via Facebook.
Oh, explain.
I was inducted via Facebook. So what I normally used to do was every time when I perform somewhere, I put my videos there. And the previous MD, who's Mnqobi, was like, man, please send me a video. I want to show it to my Mnqobi. I did, and showed it to him, and probably they liked it, and they called me.
So, how does the family react to you being in Joyous?
Well, my mom was very proud.
Yay.
Was my yes, she was very proud, and everyone is very excited about me being here. I'm very excited.
So, how long have you been with Joyous?
Since 2017.
Whoa! So you're not a newbie?
Not really. I'm kind of like you with regards to everybody else, but cheers.
A message to people to come and follow you on the tour. What would you say to them? Encourage people.
Oh yeah, encouragement for them to come.
Yes,
join the tour.
and follow you wherever you're going throughout the country.
I won't really say much, but I believe that God has called each and every one of us in MTN Joyous Celebration to minister in song. So we carry specific and special anointings to deal with certain circumstances that you might be facing. So when you follow us, basically you're following the Christ in us.
Amen.
So just be there, support us, keep on praying for us. We need your prayers, we need your support so that we can be able to stand, basically.
Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure.
All right. Joyous does not have a theme. It's all about expression.
Yes.
How did you manage to infiltrate or pick yourself and put yourself in the picture?
I think it wasn't so difficult because through the expression you are also given the freedom to express.
Okay.
So we had no limitations, we had no boundaries in terms of sound, in terms of song selection, or in terms of the message. We were just given the platform to express ourselves the best way we know how. So literally you just get there and be you. And that's how it is.
Have you listened to other tracks from the past?
I have, yes, definitely. I think I know almost everything about Joyous Celebration at this point.
Joyous 3 is my favorite.
Yeah.
Sphiwe.
Yeah.
Now that is my absolute best music.
Yeah, I relate.
That is track. Yeah, CD3 was absolutely amazing.
Yes.
But what would you say out of all the tracks from 1 to 23? What song resonates with you?
From Joyous 1 to 23?
Yeah.
It used to be Margaret Motahe, Joyous for Solid Ground. We are standing on solid ground. That's my almost favorite song by Joyous Celebration.
So to encourage people, how do you encourage people through music?
I think for me, one of the most important things as any musician generally is just take your experience, take your identity and put it within the music. That's the best way that you could get your audience to relate to you and to connect to either what you're saying or what you're presenting to them, either from a musical point of view or to the spiritual point of view. So as much as it's just a musical presentation to many, but you must always understand that there's a spiritual implication to this because this is gospel music. So once you respect and understand that this is about God and you second, you're good to go.
What would you say to people who are still yet to see you through the travels of South Africa? How would you encourage them?
I would say, look, if you're a musician, keep working on your craft. If you want to be in such a space, it will find you if it's meant to find you. And just work on your craft. Stop following all these things that are supposed to come after the actual craft. Stick to your passion, pray about it, and make sure that you are actually really chosen for this. And then in a way, things are going to, when we find you and when we bump into you, trust me, we will connect and it will not be difficult for us to know that you're really meant for this.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Have a good
It's a
evening.
pleasure. You too.
Good luck.
Thank you.
My name is Pastor Nxumalo from MTN Joyous Celebration. I'm one of the co-founders of Joyous.
Welcome to Project CB.
Thank you.
Take us back. How did it all begin? The journey.
Oh man. Well, if we go back, this whole project started as a studio concept. I spoke to Lindelane because we were working for Sony Music. That time I was doing A&R, he was running the local division. So then we sat and said, you know what, we've got a budget here, why can't we just do hymns, get people to come and interpret hymns. At that time we had Family Factory, so we had the likes of Jabu Hlongwane, Margaret Mtsache, Vicky Vilakazi, we had Sharon T, we had Wendy Mseleku, the list goes on and on. So the whole idea was, let's just get these people to come and each one must come and interpret old hymns. So we brought them into a studio, we recorded them. Then the idea that, look, let's pull in Benjamin Dube, let him come and just do one song. He came, I arranged leaning on the arms of Jesus. He came and did that, and Spongile Khumalo heard about it. And that time Spongile was a jazz artist for Sony Music, and so we were working with her, with Lindelane. She said, look, I'd like to come and do Amazing Grace. So we brought her in. So it was not necessarily for gospel musicians. We just needed singers to come and interpret hymns that bless them. And a year after we released the project, it didn't do that great. A year after, the concept was around Easter time, nothing happens in Gauteng.
Yes.
So why don't we have a show? But we didn't have the budget, we didn't have the money. So we called all these guys into a meeting. Look, we have an idea. Would you mind if we do a show of the project? All of them said, yeah. But we said, we don't have money to pay you. We'll just use the gate taking. They said, let's do it. So we were able to get money from Sony to hire Vets Great Hall and hire the sound and get the band. And we only said, look, what we'll do, we'll just get the money that is collected will be shared among these guys, even if we get nothing. We had three nights. The first night, only family and friends came. They told the others. The second night, it was almost packed. The third night, it was packed to capacity. So people said, why don't you guys do this all the time? So then we sat down with Jabu, and we said, maybe let's just go down, get out of Gauteng and find a choir. Then that's how Joyous 2 came about. Initially, it was not. We had no plan to have Joyous 1, 2, 3, blah blah. That is why the first Joyous is not called Joyous 1. It's just called Joyous. There is no one.
Yes.
Then afterward, we said, let's make this a series.
Yeah.
That's,
then it became 2.
then it became 2.
And then 3 was my favorite.
And then really.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then became 3. 2 sold just a bit, but 3 within 2 months it was a hit. We sold gold. Then it pushed Joyous 2. And it pushed Joyous 1. Our boss at Sony was like, you guys, you need to close this because it's taking money. But when Joyous 3 was released and it hit gold, Guy Henderson, his attitude changed. And he said, there's something in this.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the rest is history.
So after 23 years, it's like it's like the democracy as well.
Exactly.
How does it feel for you to be here?
In fact, now when you mention that, just before we released Joyous 1, which was the studio concept, again, the notion was we have just gone through the democratic election and elected a democratically elected government. This is our way of saying to God, thank you. People predicted civil war, but nothing happened. We saw the hand of God saving a country. So the only way we best knew how was through song. So now when we look back and we can celebrate and say, wow, look at God. Look where we are as a country. We can still, yes, we have struggles, but we still see God maintaining the peace. So it's very exciting.
The new generation. Has it given you a headache?
You mean
the young ones that come up with new ideas, fresh ideas, the Y generation?
You see, our attitude is that the platform of Joyous is to showcase new talent. Okay. So we know how to step back and say, okay, guys, bring in your ideas. Of course, guide here and there so that we don't lose the direction. But let me tell you, we allow creativity, we allow fresh ideas. Music changes. Exactly like fashion, but sometimes it comes around, but we still maintain, because we still have people who would prefer certain kind of songs. So no, we work very well.
Okay, so what's the reasoning behind 23 not having a specific theme?
We decided we won't have a theme. We're on the 23rd year and soon approaching 24 and 25. So the whole thing is, like the one before this, it was all for you. It was for the fans. But this one, we said, let's just chill. Let the music do the talking. And again, looking at the freedom of our country. Look where we are now. We will be voting again. We are approaching how many years? Is it 25? So it's more like saying we are at the same time looking at how far God has brought our country.
Amen.
So through our song, we're saying we still believe this freedom that we have as a country, it's still going to mature and become even a better freedom for all of us.
Your parting shot for those that haven't experienced Joyous 23.
All we can say, people know that with Joyous, we always say trends. Let them buy the CD, buy the DVD, come to the shows. They will see new costumes, new stage design, and hear new songs. So again, they will be uplifted and ministered to.
Well, that's how we wrap it up for Project CB.
We are